day everyone. We are the group 3. Today, we are going to report to our subject General Biology 2 about the history of life on Earth. History of life on Earth. Evidence of the past. Let's start with the fossils. Fossils, traces or imprints of once living things. Dead organisms is covered by layer of sediment which presses together to form sedimentary rock. The ages of fossils. Sedimentary rock has layers, with the oldest layers usually on the bottom and the newest on the top. Layers where the fossils are found tells a scientist the relative age of fossils. Relative dating, estimating age of fossils by its position in the rock layers.
Absolute dating, when scientists want to determine the age of fossils. More precisely, they use absolute dating to get an exact age. Absolute dating, method of measuring age of object in years. Scientists examine atoms which is over time decay by releasing energy. The time it takes to of half a sample of atoms to decay it is half-life. Scientists measure the ratio of stable to unstable atoms to determine the age of sample of rock.
The geologic time scale. Scientists use a type of calendar to divide the Earth's long history. Calendar is divided into very long units of time since the Earth formed so long ago. Geologic time scale, the Strand method used to divide the Earth's long natural history to manageable parts. Division in geologic time scale, divided into eras which are characterized by the type of organisms that dominated the Earth at that time. Precambrian time, from formation of Earth 4.6 billion years ago to about 543 million years ago.
Precambrian time. Early atmosphere had no oxygen. First organisms were prokaryotes, no nucleus. Cyanobacteria appeared, produced own food and released oxygen. Ozone layer forms in upper atmosphere and absorbs radiation from the sun. Paleozoic era. Rocks rich in fossils of animals such as sponge, corals, clams, squids, and trilobites. Fishes appeared, sharks more abundant, forests of giant ferns covered Earth.
Mesozoic era, dominated by dinosaurs and other reptiles, referred to as Age of Reptiles. First birds appeared. Flowering plants appeared by end of era. Dinosaurs and many other plants and animals species became extinct. Cenozoic era, sometimes called Age of Mammals. Mammals included mastodons, saber-toothed cats, camels, and giant ground sloths. Included some period known as Ice Age.
Mass extinctions. Some of the important division in geologic time scale mark times when rapid changes happen on Earth. During these times, many species died out completely or become extinct. When a species is extinct, it does not reappear. Periods when many species suddenly become extinct are called mass extinctions. Most scientists think that the extinction of the dinosaurs happened because of extreme changes in the climate on Earth.
The Changing Earth, Pangaea. German scientist Alfred Wegener noticed that the continents of Earth look like pieces of a puzzle. Proposed that long ago the continents formed one landmass surrounded by gigantic ocean. Wegener called the single landmass Pangaea, which means all Earth.
In mid-1960s, J. Wilson came up with the idea that continents were not moving by themselves. Wilson thought that huge pieces of Earth crust were pushed by forces within the planet. Each piece of crust is called a tectonic plate. Wilson's theory of how the huge pieces of crust move is called plate tectonics. According to Wilson, outer crust of Earth is broken into 7 large plates and several smaller ones. Motion of the plates causes continent to move.
Condition to slow change. When conditions on Earth change, organisms may become extinct. A rapid change, such as a meteorite impact, may cause mass extinction. Example, animals currently living in Antarctica are able to survive very cold temperature, but under the frozen surface are the remains of tropical forests. Conditions have changed many times during Earth history.
The next topic is mechanisms that produce change in population. Important terms. Evaluation. A population is changing in a genetic makeup over generations. Mutation. A change in the nucleotide sequence of an organism, DNA, or in the DNA or RNA of a virus. Natural selection. Charles Darwin in 1809 and 1882. Alfred Russel Wallace, 1823 to 1930. Natural selection. The preferential survival and reproduction, preferential elimination in the individual with certain genotype, genetic compositions by means of natural or artificial controlling factors. Preferential survival. There are genes that are maintained by the organism because these are the beneficial or helpful that can help the organism survive and reproduce. Preferential elimination. Loss of trait are characteristics that are useless for an organism.
Gene pool. All copies of all the genes in a population. The combination of all the genes, including alleles, present in a reproducing population or species. Allele frequency refers to how common an allele is in a population or how frequent a certain trait or characteristic occurs in population. Genetic drift. Change in allele frequency because of chance. Microevolution. A change in the frequency of gene variants alleles in a population, typically occurring over the relatively short period of time. Gene flow. Migration. The transfer of all alleles from one population to another, resulting from the movement of fertile individuals of their gamete. Population genetics, the field of biology that studies allele frequencies in population and how they can change over time. It is the branch of biology which focuses on inherited variation in populations or organisms. The changes that occur in the genetics of a population or between several populations or organisms are studied here. Population genetics focuses on the reasons why there is microevolution, which is also the reason why there is large-scale evolution. Population genetics. There are 5 causes of microevolution. Number 1, genetic drift. Number 2, assortative or random mating. Number 3, mutation. Number 4, natural selection. Number 5, migration gene flow.
Mechanisms. The process of evolution. Biological evolution is descent with modification. This definition encompasses small-scale evolution and large-scale evolution. Evolution helps us to understand the history of life. Biological evolution is not simply a matter of change over time. Small-scale evolution. Changes in gene or allele frequency in a population from one generation to the next. Large-scale evolution. The sense of difference specific from a common ancestor over many generations.
Mechanism of change. Number 1, mutation. Mutation is a change in DNA, the hereditary material of life. An organism's DNA affects how it looks, how it behaves, and its physiology, all aspects of its life. So, a change in an organism's DNA can cause changes in all aspects of its life.
Genetic drift. This can occur when a small group of individuals leaves a population and establishes a new one of geographically isolated region. Fitness of a population is not considered in genetic drift, nor does genetic drift occur in a very large population.
Random drift consists of random fluctuation in the frequency of appearance of a gene. Usually, in a small population, the process may cause gene variants to disappear completely, thereby reducing genetic variability. Two examples of random drift. Number 1, bottleneck effect occurs when there is a sudden sharp decline in a population size, typically due to environmental factors, natural disasters. It is a random event in which some genes are extinguished from the population. Number 2, founder effect is the loss of genetic variation that occurs when a new population is established by a small number of individuals that are cleaved from the larger population.
Next is migration gene flow. Is any movement of individuals and or the genetic material they carry from one population to another. Gene flow includes lots of different kinds of events, such as pollen being blown to a new destination or people moving to new cities or countries.
Charles Darwin and his contribution to evolution. Charles Darwin in full. Charles Robert Darwin, born February 12, 1809, Shrewsbury, Shropshire, England. Died April 19, 1882, Down, Kent. Charles Darwin is an English natural best known for his theory of evolution by natural selection. Charles Darwin contributed a lot to pave the way for the study of modern evolution. According to him, humans and animals came from common ancestry which became controversial, especially because in their time, when people's knowledge was still conservative and in religious community that believed that humans were created by God in this form, it did not become acceptable.
Gregor Mendel. Gregor Mendel was an Australian monk born on 1822 in Australia. He is known as the father of genetics, and he was the one who began the idea of particulate inheritance, which is he used to explain the inheritance of traits. According to him, each patient is able to transfer one allele to offspring. Allele are the alternative from or version of genes and phenotype of actual appearance of the offspring depends on the domains of the genes that have been passed on.
Hardy-Weinberg principles. Testing for Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium can be used to assess whether a population is in growth.
The Hardy-Weinberg principle states that allele and genotype frequencies remain stable in a population over generations in certain conditions are met. If a population is not in Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium, it can be concluded that the population is evolving. The 5 assumptions of Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. Number 1, no selection. Number 2, no mutation. Number 3, no migration. Number 4, large population. Number 5, random mating.